Hello, everybody, and welcome in for another edition of the Tully's Good Times with Coach Show. My name is Brooks Hill. To my right, your left, back home, if you're watching on YouTube, is Black Bears head coach Brant Sherwood. And it's been a while since we've been here at Tully's. 2 weeks have passed. The big football game has wrapped up, and now we can focus on the push for the playoffs here in the hockey season. The best time of the year is getting ready to come upon us, and no, it's not March Madness. It's playoff hockey at all levels. It's more intense, more physical, and just more exciting all around. Black Bears are gearing up for it, but before we dive into hockey, got to know, Coach, what happened to your 49ers in the Super Bowl there?
So you remembered.
Of course I remember.
Well, and, you got to know overtime going into the game, I think.
Big.
No, that's it. I think it was a great game, and you just can't give Patrick Mahomes the ball at the end to win it. It was a tough loss, but great game to watch. Boys had fun. We had a great little team party at the rink, so it was a good time and fun to see a exciting Super Bowl.
Yeah, well, hopefully the 49ers shake it off, and they'll be back next year probably in the NFC. Don't see any signs of slipping on their side of the football world. And once again, hashtag Brooks was right about the Kansas City Chiefs getting to the Super Bowl. So
don't bet against Patrick Mahomes. All right, lesson learned.
You're not going to make money. I'll tell you that. You don't make money betting against Patrick Mahomes. A great playoff for the Chiefs. Now that the football season wrapped up, we kind of shifted our minds to hockey, and boy, that was a wild weekend for the Black Bears. And we talked about it in the sense of previewing it when last time we were here at Tully's. Now that 3-day stretch is gone with all the travel to Michigan, to Jamestown, back to Elmira, back to the rink, going back to Elmira for that Wednesday. Now that you've had time to,
it's almost like we needed a break,
yeah.
Brooksy. We needed a little break
off
from that weekend.
Yeah, what was that like from the coaching perspective? I know what it was like on some of the players. Being physical and mental,
physically
that kind of
demanding
stuff.
is like, it's very tough on the players, especially, when you're going in shorthanded as well. You can only dress, 15 players with the new rule engaged. So it was hard on the boys, but it's no excuse. I expect us to win every single game. So we're a great team, and we didn't prevail on Saturday and Sunday, but there's always great things to learn from your losses, and we bounce back with a great game on Wednesday.
Yep, talk about a bounce back performance. Now, granted, I know you don't want to say excuses about the travel and whatnot from Saturday night in Fraser, Michigan to Elmira, New York, less than I want to say 24 hours, but I can bump that down. Less than 18 hours.
12. Yeah. It was a quick turnaround.
Very
tough on you. Very tough on Drock, our bus driver. It's tough on everyone, but when you got a brotherhood like we do, it's easy to go out there and battle for one another.
Before we talk about the bounce back game on Wednesday, I wanted to give a special shout out to the equipment managers Dylan Konechny and John Brown, who did not go to sleep Sunday night when we were in Jamestown while we had checked into the hotel, started to do some laundry, air out the laundry bags, or I say they did while myself, Coach Sherwood, and the players were resting. These guys worked all through the night to make sure that everybody had dry getchwear to wear underneath their pads, make sure all their pads were dry, not soaking wet. I know sometimes
might have been a little damp, but at least the gitch got dried, and the jerseys as well. So it's amazing what those guys do, and their dedication to supporting these players to make sure they're ready for the games. It's very commendable. Dylan, he was still at the rink at 4 p.m. today doing laundry. So it's tough to do, but I was happy to give those guys a break this past week.
It absolutely was necessary for them. It was nice to rest my voice for a little bit. It was good to, have Cole join us in Elmira on Wednesday. That way I could, piggyback on him a little bit, let him do a lot of the talking, because Sunday.
Good time to get the college kids in. You know, you got to get Cole in there. You got to get him his PTO, give him a little test run. You know?
I think Sunday, third period, I just have no idea what I was saying at that point.
Delirious.
It was just coming straight out of my mouth, not going through my filter beforehand. But big bounce back performance. First time this season that the Black Bears scored double digits. And not only did you play that game shorthand, you played with less people on Wednesday than you did on Sunday after the Super Bowl. So eight forwards. I know we kind of joked about it after the game. I said, relatively easy night because you're not having to manage as many people. But you countered with,
it's a different line every shift, so you got to be on your toes, the entire game. But we got. I don't want to say we got lucky, but we got lucky that Elmira was shorthanded, so it was 13 on 13, and I like her matchup against Elmira anytime we have even numbers.
It turned out to be very successful, and 10 goals. Connor Smith, the first player in franchise history to record 4 goals in a single game. So big congrats to the Cowboy on that accomplishment, and got that fact checked afterwards. That's a -1 on me for not having that prepared, ready to go. But going into that game, I did not expect one player for the Black Bears to score 4 goals. So my fault on not being prepared, quite ready for that. But it's really good to see some other guys get involved in the scoring as well. I don't want to say Connor had been going through a little bit of a slump, but to see him score 4 is great on any night. But then to have Josh Fletcher score shorthanded, and on the power play. And
Weaver, LA, they get on the board as well. So it was awesome to see everyone contribute and see that depth scoring that we have. Like, we've had it all year.
I mentioned on the broadcast that I personally, from my vantage point, and maybe I'm seeing the game different. I see it differently than you do because you're watching different things. I thought Dan Weber was one of the hardest working, if not the hardest player, both Sunday and Wednesday in Elmira.
Well, Dan Weber's been taking on a leadership role this week. Just naturally named captain by his teammates after, Kirkby and Jesse ran out of town. No, I'm just kidding. But Weber, he's been playing great lately. He's been playing with some confidence, and his puck poise, the way he's gaining blue lines, and just his movement along the blue line, it's been impressive. I've seen progression in his game that's been pretty noticeable, and I think it comes back to a day in practice like 3 weeks ago. He toe dragged like the entire blue line and walked around our forwards, which got everyone ranting and raving during practice. So it's awesome to see a guy get that confidence and then just run with it.
I think it's really unique to see, or not really new. It's great to see guys like Weber, like Liam Anderson, the guys who are fresh out of school. And I know Weber played 2 games with us last year, but to see how far they've come since training camp to where they are now, it's almost like they're completely different players.
Yeah, 100%. They're just getting better every single day, and that's what you want to do. You don't want to plateau. You don't want to get stagnant through the year, or even see your game digress. And that's kind of the thing here, is if you're not getting better, then what are you doing? Because even in the NHL, those guys are trying to get better every day, whether it's just a little percentage, but there's always something to work on. And we need to keep striving for those improvements.
So this weekend, the Black Bears didn't get to play an open weekend, kind of a bye week, if you would call it. Here, a lot of guys getting some rest and relaxation, also some rehab as well on the injury update. Don Oliveri came off the 15-day IR, and one note that I did make of practice today was that Jake Schultz was a full participant in he has switched from the non-contact jersey to a regular practice jersey. Do you have any other
It's nice to see him in a black jersey. So, he'll be coming off the IR on Friday, but with league technicalities, you have to fulfill the 15-day. So it's one of those things, as a waiting game. I think he would have been ready to play on Wednesday last week, or maybe even in Michigan.
Yeah.
But you want to go on the caution side of things. You don't want guys having a lingering injury going down the stretch into playoffs.
You want to be able to be playing your best hockey going into the playoffs, and you also want to make sure that your team is healthy. I know really across any sports, I don't want to say people complain about it, but you can see that, when teams go into playoffs, like they're not really healthy. That maybe is what leads to an early exit. It's nothing you can help in the certain situation or in the moment, but if you can go into the playoffs with a healthy squad, no matter what your seed is, no matter how many points you have, you're going to have some pretty good chances.
Yeah, for sure. You want guys going in full head of steam in the playoffs.
So Binghamton making the push. We're essentially 2/3 of the way there. Binghamton inching ever so closely to a playoff spot. Clinching scenario could be as early as Sunday afternoon, but it all kind of depends on what happens across the league the next coming days as well. Back to 3 games and 3 nights for the Black Bears. So off one weekend, and they throw you right back into the fire with 2 at home against the Watertown Wolves, and then 1 Sunday against the Danbury Hat-Tricks. Haven't seen the Hat-Tricks since January, so a good month off against facing off with the Rabbits, and we return to the Danbury Ice Arena once again. Before I get your thoughts on Watertown, wanted to let everybody know that Friday night is American Special Hockey Night. Good friends from the Asha Hockey are going to be bringing a lot of their teams to the arena. It's going to be a packed game. So go ahead and get tickets at binghamtonblackbears.com, or you can call the office at 607-722-7367. The Black Bears will be wearing these specialty jerseys designed by our good friend EJ, featuring our friends from down the road over at the Ice House, the Ice House Hawks, the local SHA team, and also partnering with our friends over at Broom Includes as well. These jerseys will be auctioned off live following the game in Section 1. So if you want a chance to win these lovely specialty jerseys and get your picture taken with your favorite player, you need to go ahead, get your tickets, and make sure you come see the Black Bears take on the Wolves on Friday night. So 2 games against Watertown. Last time you guys were able to take care of business up in Watertown. Haven't seen them at home in quite a while, but now with the weekend with split opponents, how are you able to approach this 3 set of games, even though it's 2 different teams?
Well, luckily they played each other this past weekend, so
that helps.
With watching video, versus Watertown, you pick apart their breakouts, forechecks, and special teams, and I get to do the same thing with Danbury. So it's honestly not too bad, but it's just focus one game at a time. Make sure we're prepared for Friday, then reevaluate after Friday night. Make sure we're prepared for Saturday, and the same thing going into Sunday. There's not much to it. It's just for the most part, I always lead off the pregame conversation. It's always about us. And if we show up and we play our game and execute how we're supposed to execute, we shouldn't have any problems with any team in this league.
It's a good way to, kind of steer the conversation is you guys can't control what the other team's going to do. You guys can control what the Black Bears
exactly.
do.
They might switch it up, too. Like, with the rotation of coaches in this league, they might put in a new system or run something different. So you got to be on your toes, and you got to be able to adapt midway through the period, during those media timeouts, or an intermission, or even after the game. So you gotta make sure you're noticing those things and making those necessary adjustments.
One thing I will say, when we were creating the Andrew Logar mic'd up segment, and we were going through the footage from the game against Motor City at the beginning of the month, we were able to go through and we cut the footage of Logue sitting on the bench because no one likes that, just him sitting there, everything like that.
No, we want to see that guy in the bumper scoring goals.
Yeah, we do. But one thing that we were able to we cut out was the conversations that get picked up on the bench between you and Tom talking to the players. Liam Anderson made a play, and there's a shot of you leaning over Lowe's, like almost talking into his microphone, buried into his pads, being like, "Good hustle, LA, good hustle, we like that."
Yeah.
And it's just to see how positive you stay on them during the game. I know you have to get on them sometimes about, hey, we need this play here instead of there, or do this next time instead of that. But also giving positive reinforcement to the guys as well. So that was really neat to watch as we dove through essentially 2.5 hours worth of footage of Andrew Logard.
Yeah, there's constant conversation on the bench, and a lot of it's amongst our own line mates and D pairs and stuff. But Tom and I will chime in, let them know what we're seeing, and harp on the positive things, but also let them know what they could do differently the next time they face that situation.
So now that you guys are gained back one roster spot, and Bryce Farrell does come off his 7-game suspension. Now Black Bears back to being allowed to play with 9 forwards. Is there anything that you're thinking going into this weekend that you can share now? I know that Jesse Anderson, Tyson Kirkby were playing with the Roanoke Rail Yard Dogs this past weekend. They both had successful weekends, grabbing multiple points, and Tyson Kirkby got a fight underneath his belt this year. So, or
he did a little bit of everything up there.
Yeah.
I got off the phone with Jesse and Tyson this afternoon, and they're having a good time golfing in Virginia. So they'll be heading back tomorrow morning and be joining us back for the rest of the season. So they had a great stint, and it was awesome to see them go up on our off weekend and contribute and be like top players for those guys. So it should be even some more confidence breeding off those guys.
Well, that's good. So safe travels to Jesse and Tyson, making their way back up to Binghamton tomorrow morning during the day. And then obviously they probably wouldn't be here in time for practice anyway. So probably see them on Thursday with the power play tune-ups and whatnot. What'd you think of Jesse's goal that he scored?
It's pretty good.
Weekend?
Yeah. He's scoring a lot of goals as a defenseman, and but he also had a bunch. I think he had one in the Elmira game as a left winger. So complete soldier, that guy. But it was a good look. Like, even it was closer to the blue line than the top of the circle, so it's pretty far out. And to be able to pick goalies apart from that distance is it's pretty cool. So it was. Yeah, awesome goal. Awesome to see him do it at home with his former team. And then with Tyson, he gets in a fight, does a little bit of everything. But he had some really great plays that he made, setting up guys, backdoor goals. And then also he was every other shift last night, too.
Yeah.
So
rare Monday game.
Yeah, Stanko, he went down. So Kirkby once again logged a lot of minutes.
Yeah, well, Tyson leads the team in time on ice this year, and overall time on ice, and also average and ice time per game as well. So, both of those guys, workhorses. Anderson, Swiss Army knife, playing forward, playing defense. Penalty kill, power play, 4-on-4, even strength. Anything that you ask of those two guys, they're going to be willing to do. I know Tyson had kind of been joking around on the bus that he really would like to go play defense, so maybe he's not skating around as much. But if he's playing defense like Jesse, then he's flying all over the place. And I don't know if that's more or less than
we did it on the PK last year. I had to send him back because we had a lot of offensive defensemen, so I needed a little bit more reliable player. So we toss him back, but he's going to be staying on forward for the rest of the year.
So can confirm Tyson Kirkby will be playing forward for the rest of the season for the Black Bears. Those guys scheduled to be back in the lineup on Friday night as well with the Black Bears. Going to be excited to see some familiar faces back in town. I assume Don Oliveri off the IR back for the Black Bears this weekend?
Yeah, the Don father will be back.
Okay,
this weekend,
so can confirm Don Oliveri back in the lineup tonight.
Back in the lineup.
As well. So probably going to see some big one-timers coming. You guys actually worked on one-timers all together as a team today.
Let's not talk about it. It was kind of a poor showing on my part. We can skip that.
Oh, okay. Well, everybody was practicing the one-timers from the blue line today. Even the goalies got involved in it as well.
So one and done. One and done with Sam.
Yeah.
You're like, let's make this a little bit more of a competition.
It happens, but it was really fun to watch and see. I know a couple of the fans were there. I know Bob Howard was watching, got some interviews after practice today for the Power Play post show, so be on the lookout for those as well. Coach, we want to thank you for your time and good luck this week, and we'll talk to you on Friday night for our pregame interview.
Awesome. Thanks, Brooksy. Appreciate it as always.
Right. That is the voice of head coach Brant Sherwood. When we come back, special guest, it's new forward Andrew Utoro from the Binghamton Black Bears joining us here on the show. The Black Bears are back at home on Friday, February 23rd and Saturday the 24th at 7 p.m. to take on the Watertown Wolves. Make sure to join us on Friday night for American Special Hockey Night. The Black Bears will be wearing another specialty jersey and will be auctioned off live following the game. Experience the new way to watch your Black Bears play all season long, at home and on the road, free on YouTube. Fans, the next Tully's Good Times with Coach Show will happen on Tuesday, March 5th at the Tully's Vestal Parkway location at 6 p.m. Come join myself, Brooks Hill, head coach Brant Sherwood, and some of the Black Bears players as we recap last week and get you ready for the upcoming matchups. All that and more, we hope you come out to Tully's and have a good time with us. Back at home on Friday, February 23rd and Saturday the 24th at 7 p.m. to take on the Watertown Wolves. Make sure to join us on Friday night for American Special Hockey Night. The Black Bears will be wearing another specialty jersey and will be auctioned off live following the game. Experience the new way to watch your Black Bears play all season long, at home and on the road, free on YouTube. Fans, the next Tully's Good Times with Coach Show will happen on Tuesday, March 5th at the Tully's Vestal Parkway location at 6 p.m. Come join myself, Brooks Hill, head coach Brant Sherwood, and some of the Black Bears players as we recap last week and get you ready for the upcoming matchups. All that and more, we hope you come out to Tully's and have a good time with us. Back at home on Friday, February 23rd and Saturday the 24th at 7 p.m. to take on the Watertown Wolves. Make sure to join us on Friday night for American Special Hockey Night. The Black Bears will be wearing another specialty jersey and will be auctioned off live following the game. Experience the new way to watch your Black Bears play all season long, at home and on the road, free on YouTube. Fans, the next Tully's Good Times with Coach Show will happen on Tuesday, March 5th at the Tully's Vestal Parkway location at 6 p.m. Come join myself, Brooks Hill, head coach Brant, Sherwood, and some of the Black Bears players as we recap last week and get you ready for the upcoming matchups. All that and more, we hope you come out to Tully's and have a good time with us. Welcome back, everybody. Brooks Hill alongside Black Bears forward Andrew Utoro here at Tully's Good Times on the Vestal Parkway. Friendly reminder for everybody here inside the restaurant tonight, our next Tully's Good Times with Coach Show will be March 5th. That's 2 weeks from tonight, Tuesday at 6 p.m. Start time for the show once again. So that's our next Tully's Good Times with Coach. You'll hear me be promoting it all weekend long. During the Black Bears games against Watertown and Danbury this weekend, and with the makeup game coming up on March 1st against Elmira. But more on that a little bit later on in the show. Now we turn our focus to the newest face in the Black Bears locker room. It is 21-year-old Andrew Utoro from Wyoming, Michigan. Andrew, thank you for coming on the show, and thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Brooks. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Nolan Egbert maybe been pulling your leg a little bit about what to wear to the show tonight when he said dress nice. You came in with the khakis, shirt tucked in, nice little plaid shirt, and
yeah,
you look good.
We were leaving the apartment, and he's like, "Hey, you got to throw on something nice." So, I don't mind it, but yeah.
That's good. Well, you joined the Black Bears in Motor City. You being a native of Michigan. When I was writing the press release article for your signing, I believe I read it was something like maybe like 160 miles away from the Detroit area where you grew up in Wyoming. Is that right?
Yeah, it's like Grand Rapids area where the AHL team is. So, yeah, my dad and I hopped in the car and we drove down to Motor City and met up with the team, and yeah, I signed the contract there. And
Yep, signed it in the hotel lobby with the Black Bears and sent in the paperwork the next morning so that he'd be eligible to play. And not only did you have your hockey stuff, you had your living stuff too. Yep. So you brought the stuff to move into the player apartments, and now you've been acquainted now for about a week with the guys. What do you think so far about the guys in the locker room?
Oh, I love the guys in the locker room. They've been like tremendous to me so far. I'm obviously the youngest one on the team, but they treat me like a little brother. They're there for me if I need anything. They've been just the best group of guys I've been around in a long time. So, yeah, it's been a lot of fun so far, and I'm looking forward to this home stretch here.
So, I mean, you got off to a hot start, 4 points in 4 games, almost 4 goals. Some of the goals have been very pretty as well, contributing in all kinds of ways. Got some power play time the last game in Elmira, and also saw you out there on the penalty kill as well. It's nice that we have a couple of your roommates and teammates here with us at Tully's. And as soon as I mentioned that you were the youngest person on the team, there was a big sigh of relief from Sam Levecchi as he passed the torch now on to you. Went from Matthew Boylar to Sam Levecchi, now to Andrew Utoro, and just, I guess the Black Bears just keep getting younger and younger, but, you guys play a good game. You were coming from the NCDC program out in Utah, and also you had spent some time with the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Knights as well. So I guess we can kind of start there. How do you end up from Wyoming, Michigan, where you and your family are from, down to the Scranton, Wilkes-Barre area for junior hockey?
Yeah, well, this was my first year playing for Wilkes-Barre. I was originally going to start the year with the Jersey Hitmen in the NCDC.
Okay.
They traded me at the start of the year just because they had too many 03s, which is the age-out year this year. Went to Scranton, played pretty well, I thought, and the team went on like a 10-game losing streak, so they wanted to switch things up, and they traded me to Utah, and I played 7 games there, and didn't get much of a shot, but they brought in another age-out, and that was kind of my deciding point. I was like, you know what, I'm done with this whole junior hockey thing, kind of want to get my life started, and I emailed Coach Sherwood, and he reached back out to me, and now I got to be a part of the team because he said there was an opportunity in Motor City that weekend, which was really cool. So
how quick of a turnaround do you think it was from the time that you sent that email to Coach Sherwood to you deciding to tell your dad, hey, we're going to go to Detroit this weekend and I'm going to go play pro hockey?
Well, the funny thing is I was actually sending it for next season, and literally like that same day the team in Utah was like, hey, we're going to have to move on from you. So I was like, hey, you got anything for this season? He's like, yeah, I think we got an opportunity because we had that 3-3 this past weekend. And he's like, I think I have an opportunity for you. And it all worked out for me, which I'm super grateful for. And no, I'm really happy to be a part of this group with all these amazing fans here.
So, I mean, it was a great debut. Let's kick that off. So, in your first pro game, Black Bears go on to win a high-scoring affair, 7-5, on the road in Motor City. It was the first franchise's win in Motor City. Last year, Black Bears weren't able to win whether overtime or regulation, shootout, otherwise. Last year in their trip to Michigan. But EJ has your goal pulled up over here for us to look at here real quick. Yeah. So what do you remember about this play here? It all starts with you as it's going to cycle back through. Yeah. You keep the puck in at the blue line, and you run a little give-and-go action with Gavin Yates, who feeds you for your first ever pro goal. What do you remember about that shift and about that sequence?
Well, it was, if I'm not mistaken, it was at the end of a shift, and Gavin, he dumped the puck in, and I thought Tyson was gonna stop the puck up, but he let it go, and I was like, okay, I see Gavin coming in, and I passed it to him, and he's one of the, like, I've only played with him for a couple of games, but he has the best vision on the ice I've seen in a long time. Like, he didn't even look at me; he just knew I was coming down the side, and I caught the puck, and I looked and I had a wide open net. I was like, all right, don't miss this. And
I was gonna say, were you nervous when the net is that open? Does that kind of, is there such thing as two open net?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, confirmed.
I caught it and I looked up and I hit that net and it came out so fast because they have the nets strung so tight in Motor City that it just hit the netting and came right back out. And I didn't want to celebrate because I didn't know if that would be too, like, you know, big time, like, in front of everyone. But yeah, it was awesome, and it was a great pass by Yatesy and a great shift by Kirkby too, who crashed the net for me.
Yep. And I think Tyson Kirkby also made sure to grab the puck for you.
Yep.
Right after. So that's always it's a good sign of a good teammate right there. Because in the moment, I know you're probably not thinking about it. You're just like, oh, thank God I scored. And it was like, I'm so glad I didn't hit the post there.
Yeah.
I know me, Bobby, and Trevor were skating around yesterday since you guys weren't using the ice or having a little fun with the B team, as we like to refer to ourselves, out there. And we don't have a goalie out there with us at all. And you'd be surprised how often we miss the net with no one standing in the way. So playing the game as fast as you guys do and pass right on the tape, it's very good for you to get the first one. Kind of gives you a little bit of confidence.
Yep.
Grab your second one on Sunday with a deflection from Dakota Bond as well. And then you also pick up some helpers this week as well. So 4 games, 4 points. I'd have to imagine that you feel good about your decision so far here 4 games into your pro career.
Yeah, it was. I mean, a lot of people were telling me, you know, it was either a bad decision, a good decision. I kind of blocked that out. Like, I would just listen to my gut. I stuck to it. I came into Binghamton, and I feel like I've done pretty well so far, and hopefully I can keep it up. I know I might not be in the lineup every game, but I got to do something every night that proves a difference in the game somehow, even if I'm not scoring. So
well, there you go. That's spoken like a multi-year professional, nonetheless 4-game professional right there. You know, trying to find ways to contribute every night, not even if you're showing up in the score sheet. That's what I try to aim to do in the office. Might not be showing up anywhere, but I'm trying to help somebody, whether that's driving people around or going to pick stuff up. So
you always help us, Brooks. You don't worry about that.
I appreciate you. I don't need to be flattered here. It's your guys' show. I'm just a talking head. But so let's go off the ice for a little bit, besides hockey, what are some of your main hobbies?
Yeah, I like playing golf. I'm a baseball player. Love playing more softball now, but yeah, softball, golf. I'll play video games with the guys. We hang out with the guys at the Whitney Point Apartments. That's a lot of fun. Just stuff like that. Not nothing too crazy, but I'll dabble in some books every once in a while or crossword puzzles, but that's the extent of that. It's nothing too big.
What position do you play in softball?
Oh, I'm more, and since it's slow pitch.
Nothing wrong with adult league softball.
Yeah,
I love it.
Oh, I love it. It's my brother and my cousin and my uncle kind of introduced me to it, but since my brother and I are kind of smaller, quicker guys, we like to play the outfield because some of those older guys, they just can't run that well. So yeah, it's a lot of fun, and to go out there with some of your family members and play some slow pitch softball is the best way to spend a weekend in the summer. So
yeah, I miss playing with my old softball team down in Raleigh. So shout out to the Abbey Road Centurions.
Shout out.
Love playing the outfield. Flying around in the outfield is
so much fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Robbing people of what they think are doubles and triples, things like that, and you just catch it in the air. One of the best feelings in the world. Don't have a great arm, but I can cover a lot of ground in a very small amount of time.
I can see that.
Yeah, but video games.
Yeah.
What kind of games we talking here? What system?
Oh, PlayStation.
Okay, big PlayStation guy.
Yep.
Since the early days, like PlayStation, PS2, 3, 4?
I grew up on Xbox, actually. My dad got us an Xbox and then an Xbox 360. And then when the PlayStation came out, I got the PlayStation 4.
Okay.
So I just haven't gotten the PS5 yet. But
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it's so expensive. But I play PlayStation, and I'll play all the sports games. Basketball, baseball, football, hockey, and then I'll throw in some Fortnite every once in a while, or Grand Theft Auto, just stuff like that. Just take up some time.
Classics.
Yeah.
Some of the best-selling games of all time as well. In the terms of sports video games, so FIFA, Madden, 2K, or Chell, which is the best one to play? I know you're a hockey player, but try to put the bias aside about that, but what's the the fun to sit around with the guys and just play video games for a couple hours? You got to pick one of the 4 big sport games.
I'm like a team. I like doing the team builds, like the franchise modes. So I'd say Madden for that.
Okay.
Because that's what I want to do, like sports management when I get out of hockey. But definitely NHL. Just having, a late night with the guys, and you can just play a NHL tournament. That's the best. It's so much fun, and we play at the Whitney Point Apartments with McAnanama and Fletcher and Weber, and it's always a great time. So,
I think speaking of Josh Fletcher and playing NHL, funny story. So when we're on the road, I share a hotel room with Dylan.
Yep.
Dylan brings his PS5 with us on the road, no matter how little we're staying. And we're staying across. We have connecting rooms with Fletcher. And they have the headsets on, going back and forth, playing EA SHL, whatever, the 3-on-3 league that they have, yelling into the microphone. You not only do you hear it in the mic, you hear it from the wall coming across, like, Dylan, I was open. What are you doing? Back check. Get back. It's funny for about 5 minutes. And then it gets old very quick.
I have a funny story about that. So it was the other night, actually, and it was Fletcher, Mac, Dylan, and then Mac's friend Max. So they were all playing, and they were getting crushed. It was 12-1, and Dylan tried to pull off the Michigan move, and he lost it, and they went the other way, and they scored, and Dylan's mic just went silent for 2 minutes. He knew that he messed up. So, yeah, Dylan, he's the best equipment manager in the league, but he's been a great friend to me so far, which is awesome. So.
That's good, and I'm glad that he realized that, hey, when you're down 12-1, maybe you shouldn't be trying to do things like that.
No.
Even in a video game. Nonetheless, real life in a real hockey game, which Dylan plays in, in the adult leagues here around town in Binghamton, but trying it in a video game and just going radio silent for 2 minutes, that's kind of tough as well. But I know that it's got to be a little bit tough for you going away from home after you kind of just gone back from Utah to Michigan, and now you're here in Binghamton. What's it like talking to your family now? What kind of feedback are you getting from mentors, coaches, and your parents, that kind of thing, now that, you're, I would say, about 10 days into living here in Binghamton?
Yeah, I would say just like, from my parents' perspective, they've supported me through my whole hockey journey. My dad taught me how to play hockey. My mom, always took me to the rink and everything. So they've been great through that. My grandparents, they've, just telling me this is your chance, don't screw it up, kind of thing. And I've tried to take everything in, like they told me just soak it all in. My brother, who's one of my biggest supporters, he's so happy for me that, I'm playing professionally like I've always wanted to. So it's been great, and I've taken everything they said, soaked it all in, and, the biggest challenge has probably been the cooking part. I've never really had to cook by myself, so living in the apartments, I've kind of had to learn how to cook things, how to take care of, certain things, and it's been tough, but it's been good for me, I think, growing up.
It seems like it's a little bit of learning how to be an adult, a little bit.
Exactly.
Okay, what's the go-to meal so far?
Oh, geez.
What are you making the most?
I made hamburgers the other night, and they were actually really good.
Okay,
they were really
go.
Good. They weren't anything like special, but they were really good. My best meal I've had here, we were at Darian's house, who's Dylan's girlfriend.
Yep.
And Jim makes us dinners on Sundays every once in a while, and he made steak Sunday, excuse me. He made steak on Sunday, and that was unbelievable. I had that for 2 nights straight, and it was really good. So probably the steak that he made.
Well, that's awesome. So, keep working on the hamburgers.
Yeah.
See how you're doing in about a month or so. See if you burned down the apartment yet.
Yeah, hopefully not.
Yeah, hopefully the fire alarm still works over there. Let you know if something's going wrong. But Andrew, thank you for joining us here on the show tonight. We appreciate it. Hopefully it wasn't as bad as everybody made it out to be.
No, it was awesome. I appreciate it.
All right, so good luck this Friday against Watertown. We hope to see you back in the lineup for the Black Bears and continue scoring your Rays. Andrew Utoro, everybody, 4 points in 4 games. We will take a quick timeout and wrap up the show, getting you ready for a big Black Bears weekend.
The Black Bears are back at home on Friday, February 23rd and Saturday the 24th at 7 p.m. to take on the Watertown Wolves. Make sure to join us on Friday night for American Special Hockey Night. The Black Bears will be wearing another specialty jersey and will be auctioned off live following the game. Experience the new way to watch your Black Bears play all season long, at home and on the road, free on YouTube. Fans, the next Tully's Good Times with Coach Show will happen on Tuesday, March 5th at the Tully's Vestal Parkway location at 6 p.m. Come join myself, Brooks Hill, head coach Brant, Sherwood, and some of the Black Bears players as we recap last week and get you ready for the upcoming matchups. All that and more, we hope you come out to Tully's and have a good time with us.
back, everybody, to the Tully's Good Times with Coach show. We want to thank everybody for tuning in on YouTube tonight, watching the live stream, or if you're watching the next day on the Black Bears YouTube channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button as well and put the notifications on so that way you don't miss any opportunity to watch the next Black Bears game. Speaking of next Black Bears game, it is this Friday, February 23rd at 7 p.m. against the Watertown Wolves. It's American Special Hockey Association night. The Black Bears will be wearing these specialty jerseys that will be auctioned off live in Section 1 after the game. I heard we have a special guest auctioneer who is getting called down from the broadcast booth to perform said auction, so we're going to give him a load of grace and be patient with him as he does an auction for the first time in about 7 years or so. Also, 2-for-1 beers through the end of the first period on Friday night, so the doors open at 6 o'clock, so that promotion runs until the 000s at the end of the first period. Saturday night showdown against the same Watertown Wolves. Big opportunity for the Black Bears to grab some points here and inch oh so close to the coveted first clinched playoff spot in the Empire Division. Binghamton sits atop with 80 points right now, very clear of Motor City, but they do not want to take their foot off the gas. And as we talked about with Coach Sherwood at the beginning of tonight's show, you want to be playing the right style hockey and peaking going into the playoffs, making sure that you can get everybody as healthy and ready as you can for when the season matters the most. On Sunday, a very special 3 o'clock start time from the Danbury Ice Arena. We'll be on the road with Black Bears YouTube before the game, so make sure you're tuning in Sunday at 3 on the Black Bears YouTube page as well. For our producer tonight, Josh Williams, EJ Worth on the graphics, Bobby Gross, and Cole Parenti helping us out on setup and teardown as well. My name is Brooks Hill signing off from Tully's. We will see you on March 5th for the next Tully's Good Times, a coach's show edition right here at Tully's on the Vestal Parkway. Have a good night, everybody, and we will see you Friday night at the arena.